Building a sales team. In this video, I want to go deep into helping you to understand when you should start building your sales team, hiring sales closers. And then I want to go through some key areas from all of my experience to help you to understand some fundamental things that you must do when you bring sales closers into your business to help you to be able to rely on your sales closers, to not be in fear of them not performing and not getting you the return on the investment that you're putting into them. Now, to give you some context, I personally have spent 25 years in the fitness industry. The last 12 years, I've been teaching fitness professionals how to build successful online businesses. In this time frame, I've been able to build a multi-seven-figure coaching business, helping coaches all over the world build sales teams, make more money, develop online coaching businesses, but I've also built my sales team. Now I have a team of 7 closers, setters, and triage dialers. I've been through more closers and setters than you can imagine. I've hired, I've interviewed more than you can imagine. I've let go of plenty, and I've got plenty of mistakes that I've made along the way. And in watching this video, I know that you're going to be able to jump through some of those hoops and make sure that you build a really solid sales team. Now, here's something that's very important for you to understand. The first point, when should you bring a sales closer in? When should you actually start having somebody to do sales? It's at the point, in my honest opinion, where you're making about £30,000 per month. Why wait this long, you might ask? Well, here's the thing. Hiring coaches into your online coaching business is very important. Having admins, having DM setters, having anybody else apart from sales closers to delegate is more important in the early stages up to say 30K. Sales closing, you doing the sales closing is such an important role that you need to keep hold of. Sales and bringing money into the business is key. Plus, most fitness entrepreneurs, online coaches that I work with, your sales skills are not that good. You must spend 0 to 30K becoming very, very good at sales, because ultimately that is a skill that you're going to have to teach, you're going to have to assess, and you have to train to the new sales closer. A lot of fitness coaches make the mistake with hiring a closer, bringing them into the company and expecting them to do a great job, but not able to analyze what they're doing. So by getting up to that 30K mark per month, I'd like to think that you've done enough sales to become pretty good at your system. But you also need to know your system. So that is a time where you spend working up to that level. You've delegated to everybody else, you're making 30K a month, and then you can start thinking, right, in order for me to grow the business, I need to work on marketing, I need to work on content creation, I need to work on training and developing my team. I haven't got time every single day to sit on sales calls when developing the rest of the company is of more value to me. So the first thing is 30K months. The second thing to consider is where do I find sales closers? Oh, in all my experience, and I've worked with hiring agencies to bring people in, I've looked externally for sales closers, I've been in Facebook groups for sales closers. I'm going to give you my honest feedback. When it comes to online coaching and fitness coaching, I've never come across anybody who's good. Now, they may be good at selling kind of like B2B offers, where there's no real connection to a service and a brand, okay? It's a product. When it comes to coaching, you're dealing with human beings with genuine problems. It's the same for me selling business coaching. I'm dealing with coaches with problems, which means I need to think of that when it comes to bringing the right person in. When coaches are coming on calls, they're having problems for us, such as leads and sales. When you're having prospects coming into sales calls, they're having problems with their psychology, their behavior, sleep, rest. You know, a lot of coaches, a lot of agencies bringing people in. It takes too long for the agency style sales closer to really connect with the essence of your brand of coaching. So they may be able to come in and deliver a sales call, but unfortunately the people on the receiving end, they feel that it's a sales call. And I've watched this time and time again. I brought external agencies and closers who train closers into my company, and it just doesn't connect. And I've brought in so many of what I'm going to share with you in a second to coaching businesses all over the world, and they thrive. In fact, the 2 people that are closing all of my sales for me at the moment really get the coaching world. One of my top closer is actually an online coach. So this leads me into what my advice is to you. Online coaches or personal trainers, they're in the industry, they understand the industry, they do not have to spend very long understanding the product. For somebody to buy from you, they need to trust that you can get them to where they want to be. Not trust the fact they're not like you. It's the fact that they trust that you can get them from where they are now to where they want to be. So on the call, your prospect, your closer needs to be able to connect the dots. Well, who better to connect the dots than an online coach or a personal trainer? Now, a lot of these people, some of them are struggling to make ends meet. They want to make a lot more money, but maybe they're not necessarily cut out for building a 15K a month online coaching business. Maybe as a personal trainer, they're making $3,500 a month, but they want to make 15 grand a month. And they don't necessarily want to go online, but they love selling. Well, this is a match made in heaven. They can continue to do a bit of what they do, and then they can earn between 6 and 10K a month with you doing your sales call. What? So my advice to you is to find fitness coaches, personal trainers, online coaches that have a desire to earn more money, love selling, and love helping people, because they can blend the two together. You can spend less time teaching them about your offer, exactly the results that you would help people achieve because they know it. And you can spend more time on the thing that they're not going to be the best about, learning the sales skills. That, in my honest opinion, is the best way you can do it. I'm going to stop the video just for 2 seconds because I've got a free gift for you. Now, I created a 5-part mini series called the Online Coach Income Accelerator. And in this video series, I teach you the incredible opportunities that lie ahead for online fitness coaches today. I then talk to you about how to attract, engage, and market to your dream customers. Now, when you have these dream prospects in sight, I then teach you how to land the high-paying clients. Now, to download this, to get immediate access, all you need to do is to click the link in the bio, and you'll receive immediate access as soon as you submit your details. I'll see you there. Now, point number 3, when it comes to building a sales team, is you must record all of your calls. So from today onwards, even if you're earning 2K a month, 3K a month, whatever it is, you record all of your sales calls and you put them in a Dropbox folder. Why? Those calls end up being the training for your new sales closer. If you don't have these and your sales closer or online coach that you're transitioning into a sales closer has nothing to learn from and can't see what you do, they're going in blind. And all you're going to do is just put them on a sales call. They're going to screw up because they've got nothing to follow. They also need not a script. They need a framework. Very big difference. A framework, and I'll give you an example, and I've covered this in many videos before. Rapport, going into a discovery phase, into understanding the key core beliefs that any prospect must have before they buy, into the delivery method of how you're going to get them from where they are to where they want to be, right into the deliverables. This is what you're going to get over the next 6 months, right through to the pitching the price, the objections, and then we close and collect the cash. That's a framework. What happens in all between that is kind of micro scripting, but not to the point where they're robotic. It's just a framework. And this is really important when it comes to bringing a closer into your business. You need to record the calls, give them a framework to follow, and then work through the framework and the calls as they come into the business. The next thing is you need to huddle every single day. Monday to Friday, you need to have an hour call at the beginning of the day with your closers. One, if you've got one, it's just you and them. You have to put a lot of time into training your closers. Like it or not, the least amount of time that you put into your closers, the least amount of money you're going to make. I still to this day do between 5 and 6 hours a week with my sales team, setters, triage, and closers. We review calls, I listen to calls, I give feedback, okay? And then we work together in kind of role play situations, we adjust, and we get better. We look at data, we look at numbers. So you must huddle every day for an hour. And that's a non-negotiable. And it must be a structure of how you huddle. Point number 5 is you must address parts of the call to improve. So if you get on a call with one of the huddles and go, right, I listened to this sales call and everything needs changing, you'll throw your closer off completely. What you need to do is say, what's going to improve your call more than anything is this first bit. Now, yes, there's other bits. We can work on that tomorrow and the day after and the day after, but today we're going to work on the rapport section into the discovery of where they are now and where they want to get to. Focus on that. There's less overwhelm. They can improve it. They can go away and then come back. A lot of people try and fix everything straight away, and unfortunately, you make the closer very overwhelmed. The next thing is ramping up. Now, when I say ramping up, ramps go like this, right? So when people hire closers, one of the biggest mistakes that they make is they put them straight on the calendar with all the calls coming in. So if you've got 10 to 15 calls on the calendar, 20 calls, you give them all to your closer. No, doesn't work like that. You still take 90% of the calls, they take 10%, okay? So they get 1 call, you get 9, and you keep going like that. You keep recording, they keep listening, then you give them a call. As they start to improve, they might get, say, 10 to 15% on a close rate. Once they get to, say, 30%, they're closing these at 30%, then you're confident to maybe ramp it up. So it can go 90-10, 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, and then you can start to transition them in. Depending on how well they develop will depend on when you ramp up to give them more and then ramp you down to have less yourself. Point number 7 is pay your closers 10% of the paid in full, or the cash collected that they make. So if they take $3,000, they get £300. If they take $1,200, they get £120. Unfortunately, a lot of coaches still go for monthly recurring revenue and trying to get $250, $300. Your closer's not going to be able to make any money. And also, if you're paying for 6 months worth of coaching, and let's say that's $200 a month and it's $1,200 and you're going to give them 120 quid, they've only had 1 month. So you're paying up front for something where the client could just leave. Not the way you want to work. You want to pay your closer 10% of the cash that they collect. So their incentive is to go for an upfront payment. The problem is for a lot of people is, they listen to people saying, oh, monthly recurring is better than paid in full. No, it's not. Paid in full for the initial 6 months gets you a lot of cash in the bank, gives you money that you can pay your closer. Well, it absolutely makes sense to me to charge more, to charge higher ticket, to be able to pay my closers well. And ultimately, you get a buy-in from the client for the next 6 months. Point number 8 is expect 6 to 12 months. I mean, I've been training my sales team for 3+ years, the ones that we've got now. And I expect years and years and years to come, 6 to 12 months minimum of hard graft training them. If you're not listening to calls, you're not training them, you're not developing them, you just put them on calls, you're going to lose a lot of money. And that's why it's so important for you to be good at sales. Way too many coaches in the fitness industry just blasé, they just get a call booked and they do a call and they don't sign up. And it's like, because you're not very good at sales. Like, there is a big difference between, doing sales and being very, very good at sales closing, not delivering a sales call, closing. Very big difference. And then point number 9 is to track everything relentlessly. Now, we have a sales tracker, outbound trackers, we have forecast trackers, every tracker going. We're looking at, for example, when you get a warm lead coming in, what's the conversion percentage on that warm lead? So if you have 10 leads coming in and they're all warm, they really know about you, they've come from really warm sources, and you close 3 to 4, you're having 30 to 40% close. If you have another 10 calls come in and they come cold straight off a lead magnet or whatever they come through, or straight filling out a form, they might close 1 or 2. And therefore it's very, very low from a cold lead and very, very high from somebody that knows you. Track the data. You may not be looking at your data in terms of the conversion from how many calls, how many applications come in or how many calls come on the calendar, but how many actually end up joining you on a call. Is there a discrepancy between what comes in and actually what gets delivered, and how many get sold and when, on what days? So you have to sit down with your team and look at the data, look at what's coming in, what's going out, look at what they're closing, how well they're closing, and then track the training and development you're doing with them every step of the way. So you have a big list here. I wish I had this video when I first started. I've spent tens of thousands with mentorship programs and hiring mentors and learning what's the best way to develop my sales team. I'm far from the finished object right now because I want to keep developing and keep getting better. And my team's growing, my sales team's growing. I'm very, very proud of them and the work that we do. But it's because I put this amount of work in to help them to grow. Now, if you're at a point with your own business, so you're thinking, I really want to develop my sales team, and we have our Scale agency, which actually helps you to develop that sales team, helps train the sales team, helps train your setter team, all the systems and frameworks that we've used over the years to help coaches go from 10K to 50 to 70 to 100K months. It's all there. So if you'd like our help and you'd like us to do an audit and have a look at your business and see where we could help you, then all you need to do is to click the link in the description. You'll be able to go straight through to fill out a form and get in touch. If you are listening to this on iTunes, then all you need to do, as always, is click the link in my bio or send me a direct DM and it'll come to me and I will come straight back to you. But for now, I hope you found this helpful, and I'll speak to you in the next video.